Hey guys, we're gonna take a look at the investing platform Masterworks. Now, I would never want any of my viewers to get scammed like so many did with FTX. Yet many prominent financial YouTubers like Andrei Jikh and Meet Kevin, they are continuing to promote a shady investing sector. At this point, if you see Meet Kevin promoting anything, that's usually a red flag in itself. Now, some of my favorite YouTubers like Wall Street Millennial, Moon, Spencer Cornelia, and even Mr. Beat are promoting this company. You might be wondering, why would trusted YouTubers risk their reputation to sell their viewers garbage? Well, it's all about money. It's believed with other shady companies like established titles and a confirmed scam like FTX, influencers were paid as much as $100,000 a month to mention their company. Imagine getting paid a six-figure salary every single month for about 2 minutes worth of your time, and it's no wonder so many influencers would sell out their audience. All over YouTube, you've probably seen Masterworks ads. I'll go over what they claim and see if that sounds right to me as somebody who works as an auditor by day. I want to emphasize I am not calling Masterworks a scam. I don't have any evidence to prove that they are. Instead, these are more warnings about investing in artwork in general because it's a lot more risky and speculative than many of these mega YouTubers are making it out to be. The company claims they invest in artwork for investors on their platform. This includes famous artists like Picasso and Banksy. Artwork generally is an investing class that is reserved for the rich, as I doubt you just have $119 million laying around for the latest screen painting. Well, here comes Masterworks to the rescue. They will do all the research into how much paintings are worth and then go ahead and buy them. This artwork is then cleared with the SEC to allow for investors to buy individual shares as if it was a stock. These shares can be traded on the secondary market as well if there is enough liquidity, but more on that later. Masterworks will then hold on to the artwork for 3 to 10 years and then try to sell the painting and any proceeds that will be shared among the investors in proportion to how much they own of the actual painting. According to them, contemporary art prices have actually outpaced the S&P 500 by 131% in the last 25 years. So bada bing bada boom, Cody, what's the issue here? Sounds like you're just being a misogynistic pig to the Mona Lisa. Well, I don't think many investors are not seeing the many risks of investing with artwork. One big red flag right off the bat is the fine print that I see all the way at the bottom. Masterworks is not registered, licensed, or supervised as a broker-dealer or investment advisor by the SEC, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority or FINRA, or any other financial regulatory authority or licensed to provide any sort of financial advice or services. Now, any brokerage that you use to buy and sell securities with the public, they actually must be registered with FINRA to be operating legally. This ensures that the platform is following the right rules and regulations to protect investors. Trustworthy brokerages like Fidelity, they are actually registered with FINRA. Now, when we go to their risk section, which is tucked away under the bottom of their trading tab, all the way here, we can see all the risks associated with owning artwork. One big one being that Masterworks issuers have no liquid capital resources and are 100% reliant on Masterworks to maintain and eventually sell the artwork. Imagine not being able to sell your shares of stock and having to be at the mercy of someone else to do that when it's in their best interest. There's absolutely no empowerment right here. And isn't the goal of financial freedom to be empowering one to make their own decisions? I would never want so much of my money being dictated by somebody else. Another red flag that I see is that Masterworks admits to having a potential conflict of interest because they are the ones who value their own artwork as opposed to getting a third party. Imagine Sam Bankman-Fried telling you that FTX is worth $30 billion because he thought so, and not because an independent third party actually did their own appraisal. I could tell you that my Honda Civic is worth $100,000. That doesn't mean it's actually worth $100,000. Artwork is also not a very liquid asset. It's not easy to just trade a painting for large sums of money, as this is a very niche set of buyers in this industry. That's also assuming they can find a buyer because there's only so many Justin Biebers losing $1 million in ape NFTs out there. Art is super subjective and there's no fixed way on how to value it. Artwork doesn't always just go up in price either. The value of art can fluctuate significantly based on market conditions, and there is never any guarantee that prices will go up over time. This means art can indeed be sold at a loss. In large caps, they even say the future is never the same as the past. This is why Masterworks even says they have an unproven business model. If the business model fails, they could sell the artwork at the bottom, and essentially you could lose a lot of money. Masterworks only started as a company in 2017, by the way. So not only is the actual assets of artwork very illiquid, it's possible the shares they create on the secondary market, it's possible there's not going to be a lot of buyers out there. Remember, this is a very niche market, as there's probably not going to be as many investors in as compared to, say, the stock market with Apple stock, where there's millions of shares of Apple traded on a daily basis. There's also some more scary stuff about insurance coverage not being sufficient. At least with the stock market, there's either FDIC or SIPC insurance that will kick in for losses when the broker goes bankrupt. I also joke a lot on this channel, but I promise you this next part is 100% real. The site also says they may use fictional examples of charts, diagrams, drawings on their website to represent ideas, concepts, or processes. This is starting to sound a lot like a Wikipedia article and Huffington Post having a baby, if they can just make up stuff on the fly to entice investors. Masterworks also charges an insane management fee of 1.5% a year, which is paid in equity. Keep in mind, whenever I review ETFs on this channel, anything over a 35 basis points expense ratio is what I consider expensive. So this is considerably more than that. And over a 10-year period, that's 15% of returns that will be eroded, which is extremely significant because they also take an additional 20% in future profits as another fee. This is absolute highway robbery in itself, but it somehow gets even worse. You see, Masterworks issues a K-1 tax form at the end of each tax year. K-1s allow the business to avoid paying taxes on income. Instead, all of the tax burden is passed on to the individual partners, aka the investor. K-1s are often a giant nuisance when doing your taxes. Accountants will usually charge an extra fee for the complexity of K-1 forms. K-1s are typically taxed as ordinary income, meaning it would be at your highest income tax bracket. Now double check with a tax professional on that, but for artwork that Masterworks is holding for 10 years, that's potentially 35% taken off in fees right off the top, then another in the ballpark of 22% will be taken away after that, which means one could potentially have 57% of the gains that they had in the artwork, which again, gains are never guaranteed. It's gone just like that. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought money-hungry Congress was controlling this site. There's just so many better investments out there that don't have this level of risk, are actually time and tested, and don't have to give up potentially 57% in upside. If any of these YouTubers actually looked into the companies that they do sponsorships with, their viewers would be so much better off. Instead, they just shill out business with anyone who throws money their way. Do I think Masterworks is a scam? I don't know. I sure hope not. I guess we will continue to keep an eye on them, and I really do hope their investors come out on top. Just make sure you're aware of the risks of investing in artwork, just like any other asset class. Will I be investing my hard-earned money with them? No, definitely not. Please just don't blindly listen to people on YouTube. They're probably not any more smarter than you or I, and you'd be surprised what they would promote for the right amount of money. Now, I'd love to hear anyone who's actually worked with this company and what their experience has been like in the comments below. Maybe I was wrong, maybe they're actually making millionaires. Want to see my full 6-figure stock portfolio? Check out the Patreon in the link below. It's a great way to help out a small-time YouTuber. Want to thank all the Patreons that have signed up so far. Note this is not financial advice. Always work with a licensed financial advisor, as investing comes with risk.